With the return of good weather comes home renovation projects. Looking to renew your metal fence? You've made the right choice with Denalt Epoxy-Acrylic Anti-Rust Paint. Highly resistant, it offers a semi-gloss finish that evens out the surface by covering it completely and protecting it against rust. Virtually odorless and dry in less than an hour, it's ideal for all projects, indoors and out. It's the only product that can be applied directly to galvanized metal surfaces. In this video, we'll show you how to prepare and paint your metal fence. Start by cleaning the surface with an organic degreaser, mineral spirits, white vinegar, bar salt, to ensure it is clean and free from dust, dirt, grease, oil, or wax. Next, lightly sand the surface with very fine steel wool or 200 to 240 grit sandpaper to roughen the surface. Remove residues with a vacuum cleaner. Note, we do not recommend priming ferrous metal. Start by cleaning the surface with an organic degreaser, mineral spirits, white vinegar, bar salt, to ensure it is clean and free from dust, dirt, grease, oil, or wax. Next, remove any coats of peeling paint and roughen the surface by carefully sanding with 200 to 240 grit sandpaper or fine to medium-grade steel wool. Remove sanding residues with a vacuum cleaner. Note, the application of an oil-water transition primer is not required if the surface is prepared properly. Start by removing rust. Sand with medium-grit sandpaper or medium-grade steel wool. The use of a rust remover may be necessary in some cases. If used, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions. Denalt Epoxy-Acrylic Anti-Rust Paint is the ideal product for galvanized metal. Start by cleaning the surface with white vinegar to dissolve any oil on the metal. No primer is required. Next, lightly sand the surface with 200 or 240 grit to give it a little more grip. Remove residues with a vacuum cleaner, then rinse the surface. Allow to dry thoroughly before paint application. Important reminder: our paints are highly resilient to different weather conditions. However, it is ideal to apply the paint when the ambient and surface temperature is between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius. The sun is not shining directly on the surface to be painted, and rain is not expected within the next 24 hours. It's time to paint. Before starting application, it's important to mix the paint thoroughly and make sure you have enough to cover the surface to be painted in one go. We suggest you use a nylon polyester brush or a good quality 10 to 13 mm thick roller. Apply the paint in small sections, keeping the edges wet to avoid overlapping and filling in all cracks and crevices. For vertical surfaces, apply from top to bottom to avoid drips and splashes on previously painted metal. That's all there is to it. But remember, patience is key. Consult the instructions on the drying time required before applying the second coat. Now you know how to properly prepare a metal surface and the correct method of applying anti-rust paint. Thank you for choosing Denalt for your project.